I moved into Serene Towers on a Tuesday in September. Brand new building, 10 floors, modern, all glass and steel and those fake plants in the lobby that look real until you touch them. My apartment was on the 7th floor. 7B. 1 bedroom, small kitchen, big windows that looked out over the city. It was the first place that was truly mine. Not a dorm room. Not a shared apartment with roommates who left dishes in the sink. Not my parents' house where my childhood bedroom still had posters from high school. Mine. I'm Violet Mills. I'm 28 years old. I write romance novels. 3 published books. Modest success. Enough to pay rent in a decent building. Enough to feel like maybe this writing thing could actually work. I moved in with 1 suitcase, my laptop, and Oliver. Oliver is my cat. Orange tabby. 7 years old. Judgmental. He inspected the apartment thoroughly, decided the sunny spot by the window was acceptable, and claimed it immediately. Good choice, Ollie, I told him. He ignored me. As usual. Have you ever had a neighbor who changed your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories about unexpected friendships, literacy, and the courage to admit what we don't know, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss our next story. I met Eleanor Vasquez on my 3rd day in the building. I was bringing up groceries, arms full of bags, struggling with my keys at the door marked 7B. The door next to mine, 7A, opened. An elderly woman peered out, short, maybe 5 feet tall. Gray hair pulled back in a neat bun, cardigan despite the warm weather, glasses on a chain around her neck. Need help, dear? I'm okay, thank you. One of the bags ripped. Apples rolled across the hallway. The woman, Eleanor, I'd learn later, stepped out. Bent down slowly, started collecting apples. Thank you, I said, genuinely grateful. I'm Violet, just moved in. Eleanor, but everyone calls me Ellie. Welcome to the building. She handed me the apples, smiled, warm, grandmotherly. Thank you, Ellie. If you need anything, sugar, an egg, whatever neighbors used to borrow, I'm right here. I appreciate that. She went back inside. I finally got my door open. Oliver watched from the window, unimpressed by my struggle. She seems nice, I told him. He yawned. Over the next few weeks, I saw Ellie occasionally, in the hallway, in the elevator, at the mailboxes. We'd exchange pleasantries, small talk. She'd ask how I was settling in. I'd ask how her day was. She was always polite, always kind, but also solitary. I never saw anyone visit her, never heard voices from her apartment. Once I saw her coming back from the grocery store with a single bag, shopping for one. It made me sad, but I didn't know what to do about it. I was busy, writing my 2nd book, meeting deadlines, building my career. Ellie was just the nice old lady next door, until she wasn't. On November 12th, I got a call from my editor, Jennifer, excited, talking fast. Violet, listen. The publisher wants to meet, in person, tomorrow, in Boston. My heart raced. Tomorrow? I know it's short notice, but they're considering a 3-book deal, a real one, significant advance, but they want to meet you first. Get a feel for your vision for the series. 3 books, real money, career security. I'll be there. Flight leaves at 6 a.m., meetings at 2, you can fly back same day if you want. Perfect. I hung up, looked at Oliver. Ollie, this could be it. This could be everything. He blinked slowly. Cat 4, I don't care. I packed, set out clothes, prepared. Then realized, Oliver. I'd be gone for the day. He had food and water. But what if the flight was delayed? What if the meeting ran long? What if I couldn't get back tonight? I had automatic feeders, but they were still in boxes. Hadn't set them up yet. I couldn't leave him without a backup plan. I thought about asking someone. But who? I'd been here 6 weeks. Didn't know anyone well enough to give them a key to my apartment. Except, I walked next door, knocked on 7A. Ellie answered. wearing the same cardigan, smile appearing when she saw me. "Violet, how are you, dear?" "Ellie, hi. I have a huge favor to ask, and it's totally okay to say no." "What do you need?" "I have to fly to Boston tomorrow for work, a big meeting. I should be back the same day, but what if I'm not? I have a cat, Oliver. He needs food, and I don't have anyone else to ask. Could you check on him if I'm delayed?" Her face lit up. "Of course. I'd be happy to." "Really? You're sure?" "Absolutely. I love cats. Had one for 15 years. Passed away 2 years ago. Miss having one around." Relief flooded me. "Thank you so much. I'll leave a key under the doormat, just in case. If I'm back on time, you won't need to do anything. But if not, I'll take care of him. Don't worry." "Thank you, Ellie. Really, I owe you." "Nonsense. That's what neighbors are for." The flight left on time, landed in Boston. The meeting was incredible. The publisher loved my ideas, offered the 3-book deal, good money, real career momentum. I was flying, metaphorically and literally. Then the gate agent announcement. "Due to incoming weather, all flights to New York after 6 p.m. are canceled. Passengers will be rebooked on tomorrow morning's flights." My heart sank. I called the airline. Confirmed. "Nothing tonight. Earliest flight, 7 a.m. tomorrow." I called my building super. No answer. I called Ellie. She picked up on the second ring. "Hello?" "Ellie, it's Violet. I'm so sorry. My flight's canceled. Weather. I won't be home until tomorrow afternoon. Is there any way?" "Say no more. I'll go feed Oliver right now. The key's under the doormat. Food is in the kitchen cabinet above the sink. And if you could give him fresh water if his bowl is low." "I've got it. Don't worry about a thing." "Thank you so much. I'm so sorry to—" "Violet, stop apologizing. I'm happy to help. Oliver will be fine." I hung up. Felt guilty, but also grateful. I got home the next day around 2 p.m., unlocked my door, prepared for Oliver to be angry. He hated when his routine was disrupted. Instead, he was curled up in his sunny spot, relaxed, content. The apartment smelled clean. I looked around. The dishes I'd left in the sink, washed and put away. The mail I'd left scattered on the counter, stacked neatly. The throw blanket on my couch, folded. My plant, watered. Ellie hadn't just fed my cat. She'd tidied my entire apartment. I felt tears. This woman barely knew me, and she'd done this. Out of kindness, I had to thank her. Properly. I knocked on 7A an hour later. Ellie answered. "Violet, you're back. How was the meeting?" "Amazing. They offered me a 3-book deal." "Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations." "Thanks to you. If I'd had to rush back, if I'd been stressed about Oliver, I wouldn't have been able to stay for dinner with the team. Wouldn't have built that relationship. You made this possible." She waved a hand. "I just fed a cat. You did more than that. You cleaned my apartment. You didn't have to do that." She smiled. Shy. "I used to clean for a living. Old habits. Hope you don't mind." "Mind? Ellie, I'm grateful. Let me thank you properly, please." I handed her a wrapped package. She looked surprised. "Violet, you didn't have to. I wanted to. Open it." She unwrapped it carefully, revealed the book inside. My book. My first published novel. Where the Heart Leads. She held it, stared at the cover. My name printed there. "You wrote this?" "I did." "I want you to have it. It's the least I can do." She looked uncomfortable, shifted. "That's very kind. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. It's a romance. Happy ending. My favorite kind of story. I'm sure it's lovely." She took it inside, closed the door gently. I walked back to my apartment feeling good, like I'd properly thanked her. I had no idea what I'd just done. 3 weeks passed. I didn't see much of Ellie. She stopped answering the door as often, didn't chat in the hallway. I worried I'd offended her somehow, but couldn't figure out how. Then, by December 3rd evening, there was a knock on my door. I opened it. Ellie stood there, eyes red, tissue in her hand, holding my book. "Ellie? What's wrong?" "I need to give this back." Her voice shook. "What? Why?" I can't keep it. I'm sorry." She thrust the book at me, started to turn away. "Ellie, wait, please, what's going on?" She stopped. Back to me, shoulders shaking. "Did something in the book upset you? Did I can't read it," whispered, barely audible. "What?" She turned around, tears streaming. "I can't read it. I can't read anything. I don't know how." The world stopped. "Violet, I'm so sorry. You gave me this beautiful gift. You're so proud. And I can't even. I tried. I've been staring at those pages for 3 weeks, and I don't understand any of it. Just shapes. Black marks on white paper. I feel so stupid. Ellie, I should have told you when you gave it to me, but I was embarrassed. I thought maybe I could figure it out, but I can't. And now you'll think I'm. Come inside," I said gently. "What? Please, come inside. We need to talk." She hesitated, then stepped inside. I guided her to the couch, sat next to her. Oliver, sensing distress, jumped up, settled in her lap, purring. She stroked him absently, still crying. "Ellie," I said gently, "look at me." She did, eyes full of shame. "You are not stupid, do you understand? Not even a little bit." "But I can't read. I'm 76 years old and I can't read." "What does that make me?" "It makes you someone who never had the chance to learn. That's all. Everyone learns to read, in school, when they're children." "Not everyone. Did you go to school?" She looked down, shook her head. "Not really. A little. First grade. Maybe second." Then I had to stop. "Why?" Long silence. Then, "My mother needed me." "Tell me," I said softly. The story came slowly, in pieces, through tears. Eleanor Vasquez, born 1949, Bronx, New York, oldest of 6 children. Father left when she was young. Mother worked 2 jobs, cleaning during the day, diner at night. Someone had to watch the younger kids. That someone was Eleanor. "I was 7, she said, taking care of a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, twin babies, and another on the way. My mother didn't have a choice. Daycare cost money we didn't have. I was free." "So you stopped going to school?" "I went sometimes, when neighbors could watch them, but not enough, not consistently. I learned some basics. My name, a few words, but not real reading, not like other kids." "And later?" "Later I was too old, too embarrassed. 14 years old and couldn't read. Other kids knew. They'd laugh. So I stopped going altogether, started working instead." "What did you do?" "Cleaned. Like my mother. Houses, offices, whatever paid. Been cleaning for 55 years. Retired 5 years ago." "You never had time to learn?" "Never had time. Never had energy. Working 60, 70 hours a week to survive. By the time I got home, I was exhausted and ashamed. Too ashamed to admit I couldn't read. So I just managed." "How?" She smiled sadly. "You'd be surprised what you can do. Memorize. Ask for help without admitting why. Avoid situations where reading matters. I've gotten good at pretending." "And your family? Your siblings?" "They learned, eventually. When they were old enough, they went to school. Did better than me. Got jobs, families, lives. Do you see them?" "Some. My youngest brother visits sometimes. A niece comes by on holidays. But we're not close. They have their own lives. I'm just the old aunt who cleaned their whole childhood so they could have better." "Do they know you can't read?" "No. No one knows. You're the first person I've ever told." The weight of that. The trust. The shame she'd carried for decades. "Thank you for telling me," I said. "I had to. I couldn't keep lying. Not to you. Not after you were so kind." "Ellie, I want to teach you." She looked up, startled. What? I want to teach you to read. Violet, I'm too old. I can't. You're not too old. It's never too late to learn something new. But I'm 76. My brain doesn't work like it used to. Your brain works fine. You managed an entire life without reading. That takes intelligence, creativity, problem solving. You have all the skills you need. You just need the opportunity. I don't know. What if we try? Just try. A few weeks. See how it goes. If it doesn't work, we stop. No pressure. But Ellie, I think you could do this. And I'd love to help. Why would you do that? Because you helped me. Because you're my friend. Because everyone deserves to read if they want to. And because... I gestured to the book. I want you to read my story. For real? She looked at the book. At me. Back at the book. Okay, she whispered. Let's try. We started the next evening. I researched adult literacy programs online. Found resources, lesson plans, books designed for adult learners, ordered materials, set up a schedule, 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 p.m., my apartment. I made it comfortable. Tea, snacks, Oliver as moral support. The first session, Ellie was so nervous her hands shook. What if I can't do it? Then we'll try a different way. There's no failing here, only learning. We started with letters, not the alphabet song children learn, adult methods, phonics, visual associations. This is A. It makes an ah sound, like apple. A, she repeated, tentative. This is B. Ba sound, like book. B. We went through each letter, not memorizing order, just sounds, recognition. She struggled, got frustrated, mixed up D and B, P and Q. I told you, I'm too old for this. You're not. You're learning. This is what learning looks like. Messy. Frustrating. But you're doing it. By the end of the first week, she knew all 26 letters. Not perfectly, but she could identify them. I did it, she said. Wonder in her voice. I actually did it. You did, and that's just the beginning. W started the week 2 with simple words. CAT, cat, DOG, dog, BOOK, book, 3-letter words, building blocks. Ellie would sound them out, slowly. C-A-T cat. Yes, perfect, she smiled, genuine pride. We practiced for hours. She'd get tired, frustrated, but she kept going, and I saw something change in her. I've spent my whole life pretending, hiding, ashamed. I'm tired of it. I want to go to the grocery store and read labels. I want to read signs, instructions, letters. I want to... She gestured to my book still on the table. Read stories. Real stories. Not just listen to them on TV. You'll get there. You really think so? I know so. In week 4, we worked with short sentences. The cat sat. The dog ran. She is happy. Simple. Foundational. Ellie read them haltingly, but she read them. One evening, she read, I can read. Then stopped, stared at the page, at the words she'd just spoken. I can read, she repeated, whispered. I just read that. By myself. You did. She started crying. Happy tears. I read a sentence. You read a sentence. We hugged, both of us crying. Oliver, disturbed by the emotion, left the room. Week 8. It was time for paragraphs. We moved to simple books, early reader books, the kind meant for children but with age-appropriate themes for adults. Short stories, 2 or 3 pages. Ellie would read, slowly, sounding out unfamiliar words, but reading. One story was about a woman who learned to swim at age 70. Ellie read it, finished, looked up with tears. She did it. She was scared, but she did it. Just like you, just like me. 3 months in, Ellie could read at a basic level, signs, labels, simple instructions, short articles. We'd graduated to longer books, still simple, but real stories. She read to me one evening, a story about a grandmother and her granddaughter. When she finished, she closed the book gently. "Thank you, Violet." "For what?" "For not giving up on me. For believing I could do this when I didn't believe it myself. You did the hard part. I just showed you the tools. Can I try something?" "Of course." She picked up my book, Where the Heart Leads, the one I'd given her 3 months ago, opened to the first page. Read, Chapter 1. The day Emma walked into the bookstore, she wasn't looking for love. She was looking for an escape. She read slowly, carefully, but she read it. Looked up at me, eyes shining. "I'm reading your book. You're reading my book. Can I keep going? Please." 6 months later, Ellie finished Where the Heart Leads. It took her 3 months, reading a little each day, sounding out words, using the dictionary I'd given her. But she finished it. She knocked on my door, holding the book, smiling. "I finished it. And? It's beautiful." The ending made me cry. Emma and Jack, they reminded me that it's never too late. For love, for dreams, for anything. That's what I hoped readers would feel. "Can I read your other books now?" I laughed. "Yes, absolutely. You can be a beta reader for the book I'm writing right now." I gave her the script I had just finished. She took it like a treasure. "Violet, I need to tell you something." "What?" I told my niece. About the reading, about you teaching me. "What did she say?" She cried. Said she was proud, that she'd wished she'd known, that she would have helped. "That's wonderful." "She's coming next week. Wants to meet you. To thank you." "You don't need to thank me, Ellie." "Yes, I do. You changed my life. At 76, you gave me something I thought I'd never have." "What's that?" "Freedom. I'm not trapped anymore. Not hiding. Not ashamed. I can read, Violet. I can read." 1 year later. Ellie joined a book club at the local library for new readers, adults learning literacy. She made friends. They met twice a month, read books together, discussed them, supported each other. Ellie thrived. She started writing too. Nothing fancy, just short entries, journaling, documenting her life. The one she'd lived. The one she was living now. One evening, she showed me an entry. "I spent years believing I was too old, too stupid, too broken to learn. Then Violet moved in next door, and everything changed. She saw me as a friend, as someone worth teaching, worth believing in. Now I read every day. Signs, menus, books. Words aren't mysteries anymore. They're doors, and I can open them whenever I want." I read it, handed it back. "Ellie, that's beautiful. You think so?" "I know so. Have you thought about writing more? A memoir, maybe? Who'd want to read about an old cleaning lady?" "Everyone. Your story matters. The girl who sacrificed her education so her siblings could have theirs. The woman who worked for 55 years with dignity despite being unable to read. The 76-year-old who learned anyway. That's a story worth telling." She smiled. "Maybe. Someday." My second book launched, part of the 3-book deal. I dedicated it to Ellie. For Eleanor Vasquez, who taught me that it's never too late to learn. That shame doesn't define us. That friendship can change everything. And that the bravest thing anyone can do is admit what they don't know. And ask for help anyway. I gave her a copy at the launch party. She read the dedication, started crying. "Violet, I don't deserve this. You deserve everything." She hugged me, tight. "I'm so proud of you," she whispered. "I'm proud of you." Ellie is 78 now. I'm 30. We're not just neighbors anymore. We're family. She comes over 3 times a week still. Not for lessons now, just to talk, to share meals, to read together. She's working through my entire backlist. 3 books now. She's read them all. She gives me feedback. Honest. Thoughtful. I liked this character, but this part felt rushed. Tell me more. Here, Chapter 12. Sandra makes this decision, but we don't see enough of her reasoning. It feels sudden. She's right. She's always right. You're my best editor, I tell her. I'm a 78-year-old woman who learned to read 2 years ago. Exactly. You read with fresh eyes, without assumptions. It's invaluable. She smiles. Proud. Years passed, and last week, Ellie finished reading all 7 of my books. She knocked on my door. Held out a wrapped package. What's this? Open it. I unwrapped it. A book, handmade, bound with ribbon. The cover read, For Violet. Love, Ellie. I opened it. Handwritten pages. Her handwriting. Clear, legible, beautiful. It was a story. A short story. About a young woman who moves to a new building. Who's lonely. Who's focused on her career. Who befriends an older woman. And how that friendship saves them both. You wrote this? I did. Took me 6 months. It's not as good as yours. It's perfect. Really? Really? Ellie, you wrote a book. I did. She laughed, amazed by herself. I actually did. We hugged, both crying. Again. Oliver, annoyed by the emotion, jumped off the couch and left. Some things never change. I keep Ellie's book on my desk, next to my published novels. It reminds me why I write. Not for money, not for fame, but for connection, for the chance to tell stories that matter, for the privilege of being part of someone else's story. Ellie gave me that, and I gave her words. Fair trade? The best trade. Have you ever learned something later in life that changed everything? Which moment hit you hardest? When Ellie confessed she couldn't read? When she read her first sentence? When she finished Violet's book? Or when she wrote her own story? Share your thoughts, your experiences with late-life learning or unexpected friendships in the comments below. If this story about literacy, courage, and the power of admitting what we don't know moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about friendship, second chances, and learning it's never too late. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss our next story. Thanks for watching, and we see you in the next one.